Genesis chapter 5. This is the list of the descendants of Adam. When he created human beings, God made them similar to himself. God created them male and female, and blessed them, and gave them the name humanity. At the age of 130 years, Adam became the father of a son who was similar to him, and named him Seth. After that, Adam lived another 800 years. He became the father of other sons and daughters, and died at the age of 930 years. When Seth was 105 years old, his son Enosh was born. After that, Seth lived another 807 years. He became the father of other sons and daughters, and died at the age of 912 years. When Enosh was 90 years old, his son Kenan was born. After that, Enosh lived another 815 years. He became the father of other sons and daughters, and died at the age of 905 years. When Kenan was 70 years old, his son Mahalalel was born. After that, Kenan lived another 840 years. He became the father of other sons and daughters, and died at the age of 910 years. When Mahalalel was 65 years old, his son Jared was born. After that, Mahalalel lived another 830 years. He became the father of other sons and daughters, and died at the age of 895 years. Jared was 162 years old when his son Enoch was born. After that, Jared lived another 800 years, became the father of other sons and daughters, and died at the age of 962 years. When Enoch was 65 years old, his son Methuselah was born. After that, Enoch lived in communion with God for 300 years, and became the father of other sons and daughters. Enoch lived 365 years. He always lived in communion with God, and one day he disappeared because God took him. When Methuselah was 187 years old, his son Lamech was born. After that, Methuselah lived another 782 years. He became the father of other sons and daughters, and died at the age of 969 years. When Lamech was 182 years old, he became the father of a son and said, "The Lord God cursed the land, and because of that our work is heavy, but this boy will bring us rest." And Lamech named the son Noah. After that, Lamech lived another 595 years. He became the father of other sons and daughters, and died at the age of 777 years. After reaching 500 years of age, Noah became the father of 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Chapter 6. When people began to spread across the earth and had daughters. The sons of God saw that these women were very beautiful. Then they chose the ones they wanted and married them. Then the Lord God said, "I will not allow human beings to live forever, for they are mortal. From now on they will not live more than 120 years. There were giants on the earth at that time, and also afterward, when the sons of God had relations with the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. These giants were the heroes of ancient times, famous men. When the Lord saw that people were very evil, and that they were always thinking about doing wrong things, he was very sad for having made human beings. The Lord was so sad and with such a heavy heart that he said, "I will make disappear from the earth these people. I created, and also all the animals, the beings that crawl on the ground, and the birds. Today I am very sad because I created them." But the Lord approved what Noah did. This is the story of Noah. He was the father of 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Noah was a righteous man and always obeyed God. Among the men of his time, Noah lived in communion with God. To God, all other people were evil, and there was violence everywhere. God looked at the world and saw that it was full of sin, for all people only did evil things. God said to Noah, "I have decided to end all human beings. I will completely destroy them, and will also destroy the earth, for it is full of violence. Take good wood, and build for yourself a great boat. Make divisions in it, and cover all the holes with pitch, inside and outside. The measurements will be as follows: 130 meters long, 22 wide, and 13 high. Make a roof for the boat, and leave a space of half a meter between the sides and the roof. Build 3 decks inside the boat, and put a door on one of the sides. I will send a flood to cover the earth, in order to destroy everything that has life. Everything on the earth will die. But with you I will make a covenant. Therefore, enter the boat and take with you your wife, your sons, and your sons' wives. Also take into the boat a male and a female of every species of birds, of every species of animals, and of every species of creatures that crawl on the ground in order to keep them alive. Gather and take every kind of food, so that you and the animals will have what to eat." And Noah did everything just as God had commanded. Chapter the 7th. Then the Lord God said to Noah, "Enter the boat, you and all your family, for I have seen that you are the only person who does what is right. Take with you 7 pairs of every kind of pure animal, and 1 pair of every kind of impure animal. Also take 7 pairs of every kind of bird, so that the species that exist on earth may be preserved. For in 7 days I will make it rain for 40 days and 40 nights. In this way, I will destroy all living beings that I have created." And Noah did everything just as the Lord God had commanded. Noah was 600 years old when the waters of the flood covered the earth. In order to escape the flood, he entered the boat together with his sons, his wife, and his daughters-in-law. The pure and impure animals, those that crawl on the ground, and the birds entered the boat with Noah, 2 by 2, male and female, as God had commanded. 7 days later, the waters of the flood began to cover the earth. At that time Noah was 600 years old. On the 17th day of the 2nd month, all the sources of the great sea burst open, and the windows of heaven were opened. And rain fell on the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. On that very day, Noah and his wife entered the boat together with his sons, Shem, Ham, Japheth, and their wives. With them entered animals of all kinds, domestic and wild, those that crawl on the ground, and the birds. All the animals entered the boat with Noah 2 by 2. Males and females of each species entered according to what God had commanded Noah to do. Then the Lord closed the door of the boat. The flood lasted 40 days. The water rose and lifted the boat, and it began to float. Water kept rising, and the boat continued to float. The water rose so much that it covered all the highest mountains on earth, and then it rose 7 meters more. All living beings that were on earth died, that is, the birds, the domestic animals, the wild animals, the animals that crawl on the ground, and human beings. Everything that lived and breathed on earth died. Only Noah and those who were with him in the boat remained alive. The rest was destroyed, that is, the human beings, the domestic animals, the wild animals, the animals that crawl on the ground, and the birds. Only after 150 days did the water begin to go down. Chapter the 8th. Then God remembered Noah and all the animals that were with him in the boat. God made a wind blow over the earth, and the water began to go down, as the sources of the great sea and the windows of heaven were closed. It stopped raining, and during 150 days the water kept going down little by little. On the 17th day of the 7th month, the boat stopped in the mountainous region of Ararat. The water continued to go down until the 1st day of the 10th month, when the peaks of the mountains appeared. At the end of 40 days, Noah opened the window he had made in the boat and sent out a raven. It kept flying back and forth, waiting for the earth to dry. Then Noah sent out a dove to see if the earth was already dry. But the dove did not find a place to land, because the earth was still completely covered with water. So Noah stretched out his hand, caught the dove, and brought it back into the boat. Noah waited 7 more days and again sent out the dove. It came back in the evening carrying in its beak a fresh olive leaf. So Noah knew that the water had gone down, and he waited 7 more days and again sent out the dove. And this time it never came back. When Noah was 601 years old, the waters over the earth dried up. On the 1st day of the 1st month, Noah removed the covering of the boat and saw that the earth was drying. On the 27th day of the 2nd month, the earth was completely dry. Then God said to Noah, "Leave the boat together with your wife, your sons, and your daughters-in-law. I'll also bring out the animals that are with you, that is, the birds, the domestic animals, the wild animals, and the animals that crawl on the ground, and let them spread everywhere and have many offspring to fill the earth." So Noah and his wife left the boat together with his sons and his daughters-in-law. All the animals and the birds also came out in groups according to their species. Noah built an altar to offer sacrifices to God, the Lord. He took pure birds and pure animals, one of each kind, and burned them as sacrifices on the altar. The smell of the sacrifices pleased the Lord, and he thought to himself, "I will never again curse the earth because of the human race. For I know that from their youth, people only think of evil things. I will also never again destroy all living beings, as I did this time. While the world exists, There will always be sowing and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night.